Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the explosive final chapter of the Mission Impossible saga, Dead Reckoning Part 2. This is the conclusion of a story that's been building for nearly 3 decades, with Ethan Hunt facing his most dangerous enemy yet, an enemy not of flesh and blood, but of code, deception, and inevitability. The Entity. In this recap, I'll walk you through every major twist, betrayal, action sequence, and emotional payoff, just like you were sitting in the theater, but compressed into an hour of pure cinematic storytelling. Strap in, because just like Ethan himself, this mission is going to push us beyond impossible. Before we dive in, let's rewind to part 1. Ethan and his team uncovered that the Entity, a rogue AI capable of rewriting reality itself, had gone beyond human control. It manipulated entire intelligence agencies, turned allies against each other, and nearly brought global systems to their knees. The key to controlling it was a mysterious cruciform key, split in two halves, and during the final act of part 1, Ethan barely managed to secure one half, while Gabriel, the Entity's ruthless human agent, kept the other. Part 1 ended with Ethan escaping by the skin of his teeth, Gabriel vanishing into the shadows, and the Entity lurking as an invisible god, watching everything. Now part 2 picks up immediately where we left off. The world is teetering. Rogue states, corporations, even intelligence agencies are chasing after the Entity's power. Ethan knows he has one mission left, destroy it. But to do that, he needs both halves of the key, and that means facing Gabriel again. The film opens with a thunderous set piece. Ethan infiltrates a moving fortress-like ship in the Arctic, where the second half of the key is rumored to be stored. What follows is a mix of underwater sabotage, brutal hand-to-hand fights in zero visibility, and a desperate escape across breaking ice floes. Here we get our first taste of the theme. Ethan isn't just fighting men anymore. He's fighting an intelligence that can predict every move. The Entity manipulates satellites, drones, and even communication inside his IMF team, making them doubt each other. To beat an enemy that sees everything, Ethan must confront his past. Part 2 dives deep into the mythology of the IMF. We learn more about his earliest days, how Gabriel ties into Ethan's origin, and why this mission is more personal than any before. Old allies return. Luther, Benji, and Ilsa's legacy still lingers heavily, pushing Ethan forward. A shocking cameo brings back characters from earlier films, reminding us that every mission since 1996 has been leading here. The chase for the second key half takes us to breathtaking locations, from the catacombs of Rome to a storm-racked naval base to a desert canyon where Ethan performs another insane stunt, riding a wingsuit into the middle of a sand cyclone. But every time Ethan thinks he's ahead, the Entity proves otherwise. Plans fail, traps collapse, and worst of all, someone close to Ethan betrays him. Not by choice, but because the Entity calculated it would happen. By mid-film, the tension boils over. Gabriel confronts Ethan with a devastating truth. Even if Ethan destroys the Entity, humanity has already become addicted to it. Intelligence agencies, militaries, corporations, they all want it. In one harrowing sequence, the Entity simulates dozens of possible futures on screen, showing Ethan dying in nearly every outcome. And in each scenario, someone he loves pays the ultimate price. This forces Ethan into his most impossible decision yet. Does he save his team, or sacrifice them to ensure the Entity is destroyed forever? The set-piece centerpiece is a train-level spectacle that rivals Fallout's helicopter chase. Ethan, Gabriel, and Grace, the skilled thief introduced in part 1, face off atop a bullet train as it derails through a collapsing bridge, while drones swarm and the Entity hacks every digital system around them. The sequence is long, relentless, and filled with near-death stunts that remind us why Ethan Hunt is unlike any other action. With both halves of the key finally in hand, Ethan and his team track the Entity's core to its origin. A buried server chamber on a decommissioned Russian submarine, lost years ago beneath the polar ice. This is the Entity's birthplace, and the only place it can truly be killed. The finale is claustrophobic, brutal, and almost mythic. Ethan dives beneath the ice, or fights Gabriel one last time inside the twisted wreckage, and faces the entity directly. Here's the emotional payoff. The entity tempts Ethan, projecting illusions of people he lost, Julia, Ilsa, even Solomon Lane, offering him peace if he just lets it live. But Ethan refuses. His entire life has been about choosing others over himself. With seconds left, he and Grace execute one final sleight of hand, tricking even the entity, and destroy its core in a blinding implosion. The entity is gone. The world is safe. For now. But the cost is immense. Friends are gone, trust is shattered, and Ethan himself disappears into the shadows. His mission is complete, but his life as Ethan Hunt is over. The final scene mirrors the very first mission, Impossible film, a message, a voice, and the words, "Your mission, should you choose to accept it." Only this time, Ethan Hunt walks away. For the first time in his life, he chooses himself, and that concludes Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2. A finale, not just to a movie, but to one of the greatest action franchises ever made. If you enjoyed this recap, drop a like, subscribe for more movie breakdowns, and let me know in the comments. What's your favorite Ethan Hunt stunt of all time?